Welcome back to Movies on the Brain, where we dive into the fast lane of cinema's most iconic car chases. I'm Jason, and today I'm diving into a true classic of the action genre, Gone in 60 Seconds from 1974. Directed by H.B. Halicki, who also stars in the film, Gone in 60 Seconds is a groundbreaking heist film famous for its thrilling car chases and non-stop action. Packed with some of the most intense driving stunts ever captured on film, this movie is as much about skill behind the wheel as it is about pulling off the ultimate heist. In Gone in 60 Seconds, we're thrown into a high stakes world where every second counts, and the only way out is through the pedal to the metal. Let's dive into this adrenaline fueled classic and see why it remains a cult favorite for car lovers and action fans alike. Now, I was unable to find exact numbers on how the movie did weekly in theaters, but Gone in 60 Seconds opened in theaters on July 28th, 1974, with a budget of $150,000 during its entire theatrical run and earned $40 million. Mandrian Pace is a respectable insurance investigator who runs an automobile chop shop in Long Beach, California. He is also the leader of a professional car theft ring that steals and resells stolen cars, disguising them using vehicle identification numbers, engines, parts, and details such as parking decals and bumper stickers sourced from legitimately purchased wrecks. As an insurance industry insider, Pace has one small idiosyncrasy. All vehicles stolen must be insured. Pace meets a South American drug lord who offers $200,000 up front, with an additional $200,000 upon completion of delivery, in exchange for the theft of 48 specific vehicles to be delivered to the Long Beach docks within 5 days. The list ranges from limousines and semi-trailer trucks to vintage cars and exotics, rendering the order difficult to fill within the time limit. Nevertheless, Pace is confident that the order can be fulfilled by the deadline. Mapping out a basic strategy, the thieves scout their vehicular targets, all of which has been given female code names. The plan goes smoothly, even with some of the more eclectic vehicles acquired with relative ease, but obstacles begin to mount. Chief of those difficulties is a yellow 1973 Ford Mustang, codenamed Eleanor. The first Eleanor Pace comes across is occupied by its driver, so he steals it from the owner's house after dark and discovers it is owned by Harold Dwight Smith, a corrupt senior manager for a large insurance corporation. An intoxicated Smith witnesses Eleanor being stolen from his garage and attempts to pursue Pace in a different car, but is stopped by the police. Pace quickly returns the Mustang back to Smith's car to make it look like the car was never stolen and that Smith was simply out on a drunken joyride. Further tension occurs when a white Cadillac Eldorado stolen as part of the order is found to contain several kilograms of heroin stashed in the trunk. Pace's brother-in-law Eugene sees the heroin as a profitable side business, but Pace disagrees, viewing the heroin as a threat to the security of the operation. Against Eugene's protest, Pace does not relinquish the heroin, and unbeknownst to Eugene, has the Cadillac and its contents burned. The theft of all 48 vehicles is eventually completed, but the second Eleanor is discovered to be uninsured within hours of delivery to the docks. After pleas from fiancée Pumpkin Chase, Pace agrees to return it, but only because he is aware of a third Eleanor at the International Towers in Long Beach. Meanwhile, Eugene, learning of the Cadillac's fate, confronts Pace and angrily leaves, eventually tipping off the police about Pace and the third Eleanor. As a result of the tip-off, two detectives, Butch Stockton and Phil Woods, corner Pace as he exits the International Towers. A lengthy and destructive car chase ensues, covering 6 California cities from Long Beach to Carson, involving local, county, and state law enforcement. Pace manages to evade the police, but irreparably damages the third Eleanor in the process. Desperate, Pace spots a fourth Eleanor Mustang at a car wash. Noticing an opportunity, Pace leaves the third Eleanor at the car wash and dupes the owner of the Mustang under the guise of being the car wash's manager. After a quick license plate swap and disguise removal, Pace leaves the car wash with the fourth Eleanor, leaving the wrecked third Eleanor for the Mustang's owner to find. The police, spotting the wrecked Mustang, quickly descend upon the scene to arrest the real car wash manager, who happens to match Pace's description. As Pace safely clears a police checkpoint in the fourth Eleanor, when the cops let him go once they learn the dragnet is canceled as they caught the suspect. Now let's look at the cast and some of their other roles. H.B. Halicki as Manger and Pace. Before his passing in August of 1989, other roles for H.B. Halicki include Harlan B. Hollis and The Junkman, Manger and Pace in Deadline Auto Theft, and a Rolls-Royce driver in Deadly Addiction. Marion Busia as Pumpkin Chase. The only other role for Marion Busia is Pumpkin Chase in Deadline Auto Theft. Jerry Daugherty as Eugene Chase. Before his passing in January of 2013, other roles for Jerry Daugherty include Eugene Chase in Deadline Auto Theft and a Chevy Camaro highway patrolman in The Junkman. James McIntyre as Stanley Chase. Other than reprising his role as Stanley Chase in Deadline Auto Theft, other roles for James McIntyre include Billy Bob Floyd in the TV show The Greatest American Hero and Carl in the TV show Days of Our Lives. George Cole as Atlee Jackson. Other than reprising his role as Atlee Jackson in Deadline Auto Theft, the only other role George Cole has had is George in Double Nickels. Ronald Halicki as Corliss Pace. Other than reprising his role as Corliss Pace in Deadline Auto Theft, the only other role Roland Halicki has had is the eccentric pig farmer in The Junkman. Marcus Katsikos as Uncle Joe Chase. Before his passing in September of 1985, the only other role Marcos Katsikos had was reprising his role as Uncle Joe Chase in Deadline Auto Theft. Parnelli Jones as himself. Before his passing in June of 2024, the only other role Parnelli Jones has had is reprising his role in Checkered Flag or Crash. Gary Bettenhausen as himself. Before his passing in March of 2014, his only other role was reprising his role as himself in Deadline Chase Auto. Jonathan E. Frick as himself. The only other role Jonathan E. Frick has had is reprising his role in Deadline Chase Auto. Hal McClane as himself. This was Hal McClane's only role before passing in September of 1981. J.C. Agajanian as himself. This was J.C. Agajanian's only role before his passing in May of 1984. J.C. Aganian Jr. as the light blue unmarked detective. This has been J.C. Aganian Jr.'s only role so far. Christopher J.C. Aganian as himself. This has been Christopher J.C. Aganian's only role. Billy Englehart as Billy. This has been Billy Englehart's only role. Sak Yamamoto as the mayor of Carson. This has been Sak Yamamoto's only role. Butch Stockton as Juan Baker 11 driver. Other roles for Butch Stockton include the sheriff in Double Nickels and the Dodge Monaco highway patrolman in The Junkman. Phil Woods as one Baker 11 passenger. This has been Phil Woods' only role. Now, my thoughts. I wasn't even 5 minutes into this movie. I was already getting vibes of Bullet, starring Steve McQueen, which that's probably been one of my favorite movies since I've started this channel, and that's not a bad thing. So our main character is an insurance claim adjuster, and on the side he runs a chop shop. That's definitely a welcome change from the Nicolas Cage movie, and I really enjoy it. I do like having the conversations going on in the background when other things are happening. It makes the movie flow a little better, especially when we get to the actual list of the cars that are being stolen. You know, I just realized, and there's probably more, but I just realized we have a character in both movies, Atlee Jones, spelled Atlee Jackson, spelled differently, played by George Cole in this, and Will Patton in the 2000 movie. That first chase scene is a fun little taste of what to expect. It was a fun little taste of what to expect in this. I love the setup of how they're getting the cars, and the bait and switch of the 73 Mustang was fantastic. The operation going better than expected about 40 minutes in, and those older cars look amazing. Then, as soon as it seems it's going good, they get a car with drugs in it, which I had a feeling that had happened since in the 2000 version, they stole a car not on the list that also had drugs in it. So I had a feeling that moment in the 2000s version was a reference to this, would be a reference to this movie, which is right here. It's such a good movie before they even steal Eleanor, and to have the 40-minute chase scene they reveal in the trailer that I saw before watching it. Eugene betraying the others by tipping off the police was so well written and well shot, and it threw me off guard, but it was awesome showing pace going to the Mustang stolen before, and cutting to someone calling the police only to reveal it's Eugene after Pace gets in the Mustang to go get the other one from International Towers. That entire 40-minute car chase scene was such a fun thing to watch, especially that extreme slow motion at the end. Then Pace miraculously comes across yet another pristine yellow 73 Mustang. You couldn't have wrote that any better. The in memoriam for H.B. Halicki really surprised me, so after I saw that, I had to find out what had happened. While a sequel for this was being filmed, which I will discuss this here in a little bit on the fun facts, while with Halicki returning as Pace, he was preparing for a stunt, was killed when a telephone pole fell on him. It was such a shame because I really thought he was fantastic in this. Now let's get to some fun facts and trivia. According to the people on set, after the mishap when a driver missed a mark and caused Eleanor to hit a real light pole at 85 miles an hour, the first thing that H.B. Halicki said when he regained consciousness was, "Did we get coverage?" This 97-minute movie contains 93 car crashes, with 48 involving police cars. The final big jump went 30 feet high and cleared 128 feet. Halicki suffered a compressed spine in the landing. With the exception of a few extras, the bulk of the bystanders and members of the public in the movie are real people just going about their business who had no idea that a film was being made. This caused several incidences where people assumed a real police pursuit was in progress, with many trying to help the accident victims. In the scene where the Carson Street off ramp, when the two cars collide after Majorian drives against traffic, a pedestrian can be seen in the background shouting angrily at passing police cars for not stopping to help the occupants. There was no official script for the movie apart from several pages outlining main dialogue sequences. Much of the action and dialogue was improvised and made up by the cast and crew as they went along. This caused many problems for the editor, Warner E. Layton, who never knew what footage was being dumped on him or where in the movie it belonged. In the DVD audio commentary, he described the script for the construction site portion of the main pursuit as a piece of cardboard with a circle on it. Director H.B. Halicki pointed at it and said, "That's the Dust Bowl. We went around it twice. There's your script." The scene in which a train derailment is observed in the film was not a part of the original shooting script, but is in fact an actual train that derailed. When the director heard about this, he wanted to incorporate it into the film. All the police cars damaged in the film, as well as the garbage truck that overturns, were bought at city auction by director H.B. Halicki in 1972 for an average price of $200 each. They sat in an empty lot for over a year until production on the movie began in 1973. Director star H.B. Halicki compacted 10 vertebrae, performing the big jump in the Mustang at the end of the movie. Fortunately, the injury was not very serious, although according to the director of photography Jack Vakic, Halicki never walked the same again. Most of the police officers, firefighters, and paramedics were actual police officers, firefighters, and paramedics who were asked to take part in the film. According to director of photography Jack Vakic, only one Baker 11 was supposed to crash in the final scene. The drivers of the other police cars decided they'd all wreck as well, just for the hell of it. And that's a wrap on my review of Gone in 60 Seconds from 1974. This film set the bar high for car chases and remains a must-watch for action and car enthusiasts. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like and subscribe to Movies on the Brain for more deep dives into action-packed classics. Now, here's a question for you. Should I take a look at the 2000 remake of Gone in 60 Seconds? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your engines revving and your eyes on the road.